We're streaming. YouTube, Facebook, hello.
Good thought.
Hey YouTube, I'm loving this bad teams. I'm sure you've put this in, and I'm just now scrolling down enough.
What is it?
But thank you for throwing in the worst, your rankings.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
My worst rankings?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're actually close, far enough in the
surprised.
season where that might be worth talking about today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I could give it a mention.
We haven't brought it up this
like
season
early
yet,
on.
Right. Yeah. It's
early on, I'm taking a lot of guesses based on how they've been in the past. So there's some teams, there's a lot of teams that have been deleted off this list. And there's frankly a lot of teams on this list that probably don't even deserve to be on it. But their wins just, like I wouldn't be shocked if even though they're 2-2, they finish 3-9.
Yeah.
Or 2-10 even.
Right.
Just depending, like, because a lot of the teams that I have in my bottom, like 15, they have like one win. And the win's against an FCS school. So they're not playing a second FCS school. So it's still like a little hazy, but we are far enough.
We're not here. We're not also. Anybody can give a detailed breakdown at the end of the season. We're here for hot takes.
Well, I can tell you a couple. I mean, the bottom 4, I feel pretty strongly about. So,
UMass, easy.
Actually, in fairness, I need to rotate that. Why on earth do I have Akron above Georgia State? That's wrong, sir. But I feel pretty strong about Kent, Nevada, Eastern Michigan, Nevada, and UMass all being quite bad.
And I feel like this is well, we'll talk about this. I throw UCLA up higher because it's relative to spending expectations.
Yeah, I mean, I'll mention those guys. I mean, you still see like where UCLA is though, and for any Power 4 school to be that low is insane.
Oh yeah. Oh, truly.
Like that's insane. And listen, they can drop lower. So
oh, absolutely.
They can drop lower. They do.
All right, I think I'm good. We're streaming. Hello, everyone, and I will hit record.
Hello, everyone.
I'm going to cough a few times.
There we go. All right.
Okay, Josh, get it out of your
Welcome
system.
to the Fifth and Goal Sports Podcast. Now, here are your hosts, Aaron, Josh, and Johnny.
Welcome to the show. Listeners, viewers, as always, it's good to have you here. Big week of college football coming up. Off the heels of a big week of college football. A lot of stuff to get to. A lot of intrigue. A lot of teams kind of cementing themselves as real contenders. Some other teams out there on just incredible fraud alert. Just so fraudulent. We'll talk about it all. But first, Josh, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Man, I got a nice throwback. I should have sent you this TikTok. This is my fault, Aaron, so I'll apologize in advance. I just see your UNLV Miami recap. Of all things, on my For You page, I found one of those urban explorers, basically a fancy term for a guy who breaks into buildings and hopes he doesn't get caught. Dream job, truly. That's such a life. And he was like, "Hey guys, today I'm exploring this abandoned college football stadium." And I went, "Okay, this is the opposite of like the new stadium tours. I'm excited to see what's going on." And he kept showing things, and I'm like, "This seems like it feels like I've seen this before. It's a big stadium. It's genuinely in the middle of nowhere, kind of deserty." And I'm like, "Okay, so this isn't like a Big Ten thing." I'm trying to think, and of all things,
it could be now.
Well, it could be now. And he finally got up to the press box, and it was Sam Boyd Stadium. And
that's the name
it brought back memories. It brought back UNLV mentions.
Yeah, when did they move out of that thing? I'm looking it up right now.
2020. Only
That's all it's
5
been?
years. It's
Oh,
all it's
Yeah,
been.
it's
And
just
it
when the
looks
Raiders
trashed.
had the hockey puck stadium done
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
because they now share.
Well, right, yeah. And apparently UNLV pays like $300,000 a home game to play there. So is that worth it? I don't know.
I don't know.
I have
Well,
no idea.
apparently they hated their old stadium enough.
I guess. Yeah. Yep. Interesting. Well, I will talk about UNLV because I got up close and personal with the Rebels this week, which was a lot of fun. But Johnny, how's it going for you, man?
Football,
Yeah.
and the evils of fall weddings. I am battling them.
Uh-oh.
Battling them like
Yep.
a true soldier
But
fighting against the evils.
I think you weren't fighting so much as you lost to the evils.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I got the ceremony trimmed down to 6 minutes. Literally, my
Oh.
dad timed it. And then me and my aunts, shout out Aunt Debbie, had games on our phone.
There you go.
It was during the Nebraska-Michigan game. So we were watching that.
That's battling. You're right.
So it was not a full lost cause. There was
Yeah.
a battle going on. We did the best we could.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's good. You know what happens to the best of us. So, yeah, you gotta. You do some coach speak. You control what you can control. You know, is that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
The best of us get fall weddinged.
Yep. That's correct. Correct application of the word.
It
there,
comes for
used
us
as a
all.
verb. Yep.
Yes.
Well, my week was good. I like what you said, Johnny. Football. That's a pretty accurate representation of my week as well. Boy, what a week 4 we had. We knew it was going to be good. We were excited for it, and it, to me, lived up to the hype. You had some great games between top 25 opponents. You just had great games across the board. You had some not great games, so in true fashion for us, maybe we start with just the terrible, and we get more positive as we go along. The terrible is Clemson football right now, and it is bad. It is bad. What is the date? January 1st, 2021, whatever the date is that Clemson got clapped by Ohio State. It has been downhill. Now,
They died that day.
Part of them died that day. Now, the slope was pretty gradual until this year, and now they're free falling, and it's where is this the Florida State of 2025? So far, yes.
On Saturday, crazy stat. Do you know how many lightning strikes they've had? Lightning delays, rather.
Oh,
this season?
yeah, they've had 2.
More than
right?
they've had
2.
wins.
How many wins do they have?
Uno.
They
Against Troy,
Yep.
which they
They've
trailed
been-
16-0.
Yikes.
I don't even know if Florida State had that type of stat line.
Probably not.
I
More
think
weather
we're
delays?
misremembering how bad Florida State and DJU were. Like,
Oh,
let's
no,
not throw
absolutely.
Cade
Like,
Klubnik
defeated.
under that
Defeated.
bus.
Fully
That's
defeated.
yeah.
Fully
That's
defeated.
not totally
but-
fair.
Well, it's something. I don't even know what the. I don't.
What's the
I have
Well,
a hard time.
they can't
pinpointing
run the
what
ball.
Well, yes, but why
They can't run the
they?
ball.
Why? That's where I don't know.
Because they also don't believe in a deep play threat. So
enough.
they're still close to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
The defense isn't playing great, but they're not terrible. Also, like, because we're not going to really talk about Syracuse. I mean, I feel bad for Syracuse losing Angeli for the
Mhm.
season. That stinks. Like, Fran Brown's doing, can I just say, like, guys like Kirk Cignetti at Indiana, Greg Schiano at, like, Rutgers,
Yeah.
Lance Leipold at Kansas, like, and Fran Brown at Syracuse. You guys are miracle workers. These are trash programs that you do something with. Like, phenomenal. Well done. We love seeing that. But shout out Syracuse. 3-1 start, only losses to
Unbelievable.
Tennessee. Like,
Yep.
really nice start to the season for them.
Yeah.
Hopefully they can keep it up. But yeah, I mean, there's some schematic issues, but the biggest difference just is in general, like, we expected their guys from last year to take a step. and nobody did. And in fairness, like, I don't feel like they've run the ball well the last 2 years anyway.
Correct.
Then they lose their running backs, and it's like the O-line can't block for them either. So it's like not great running backs, but also you can't block for them. Their best wide receiver's been out, yes, but he's not fixing all of these problems. There's a systematic issue somewhere here with Clemson. Like, they are broken. They're losing these games at home. Like, it is bad. It is over. We ate crow last week, so I'm not going to do it again with them, but man, was I wrong.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I do think part of it, which we've talked about, is a ripple effect of basically Dabo trying to do this thing with one arm tied behind his back. And now it's in a way probably catching up to them. But I mean, yeah, it's shocking. It's shocking. The other one that's probably less of a shock, but still surprising, is how bad Florida has looked, especially on offense. You talk about not being able to run the ball. Wow.
Yeah.
And I know they played good
defense is
teams.
okay.
Oh, the defense is great.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that they're not getting blown out in these games is a testament.
I mean, what, Florida had like 36 yards at halftime against Miami? And it was a 10-0 game, I think.
Wasn't it 13-7 at one point?
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
in the
fourth quarter, I think. Or fourth, late third, early fourth quarter. It's like, I'm like, and I'm watching the game. I'm like, Miami's clearly the better team, but Florida's still one weird play away from taking the lead in this game.
Right.
Like, that defense was just gassed at the very end of that game.
Yeah.
Like, I felt for them because they deserve better. And gosh, this is just not, we've been so wrong on quarterbacks this year. I don't remember a year where the general, because it's not just us, the general college football public has just been whiffing on these preseason expectations for quarterbacks. I mean, just not even close to what we expected. I mean, Aaron, correct me if I'm wrong. I can't remember a year we've been this incorrect on all of them, seemingly.
Right. Klubnik, Lagway. I mean, Lenoris Sellers at least showed you something against Missouri.
And he got hurt. Yeah,
right.
He got hurt before then. And so, yeah. But
you're right.
Arch Manning, of course. Nussmeier has not looked like what some thought he could be at the beginning of the year. Like, it's instead you've got Dante Moore, Julian Sayin.
Yeah.
Who's the transfer in Oklahoma right now? He's playing really well.
Yep.
Fernando has done excellent. Yeah. He belongs in that category now.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, I mean, it's been. I mean, even Carr at Notre Dame, I think personally he's looked better than I expect. I know they lost both games, but he has looked better than I expected early in the year. It's just been weird.
Yeah. Josh, since we're starting sad and ending happier in theory, sad for SMU because Iron Skillet is not currently scheduled to continue. I'd like to think cooler heads will prevail and that'll happen. But for now, SMU is going to have to sit with that one for a little while.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be okay. 13th in ACC is,
no ACC losses yet.
Technically, could be
I think
worse.
they're not in the Big 12, but no ACC losses yet.
Yes. We are better than Boston College, Stanford, Virginia Tech, and technically Clemson.
Yeah.
Technically. By the way, and I know we're going to get to week 5. I believe it was just announced. Clemson at UNC next week, noon kickoff Eastern time.
Is that next week? Oh,
it's next week. And you know what that means? I believe Usher agreed to perform, or Ludacris. Hold on,
Josh. What network is that on?
That's going to be
Cartoon
on
Network?
ESPN. ESPN-C for cartoons. Why did
Cartoon Network also doesn't even exist anymore? So
to be
gone.
Okay, that's just like these two programs. Ludacris, who already committed to do a pregame concert on UNC's quad. That means that he's starting You're gonna get a Ludacris concert at 9:45 a.m.
Well, people show up
That's
for the
unbelievable.
concert. They just won't stay for the game.
You might,
Kim,
though.
they
If
do
you're
the
North
right thing.
Carolina, you look at Clemson, you're like, oh my gosh, we got a chance.
Do they? I mean, I don't know how good Central Florida is, and they just put a whooping on North
Well,
Carolina.
if Scott Frost heard you call him Central Florida, he'd put a whooping on you, apparently.
You're right,
Yeah.
which I don't understand. Is that a new thing? Has that always been a thing?
Yeah, it has.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know why. Couldn't tell you, but
Yeah, I would actually think you'd prefer that to the initials, but
I don't know.
whatever.
Is
Whatever.
it, if you're just called Central Florida, does that give the connotation like you're just a directional school? Even though they're like one of the largest Division I schools out there.
I mean, does USC have that like little brother
Well,
mindset?
that's true.
We're
I guess
only
that's
Southern California.
That's true. You know what, Johnny? That's a good way of putting it. I've never thought of USC as a directional school before, and now I do. Thank you.
They're a directional school.
Yeah. Oh boy. Well, they're also undefeated and looking pretty good, and they go to Illinois, so we'll see how that works. Not to get ahead of ourselves for week 5. But again, continuing with some sad fan bases. Nebraska. Oh. Nebraska. I'm going to read you this
Did you
stat.
fall for it?
Yes, I did.
Oh no!
Yes.
Oh no!
Yes, I did.
I
I had
think I
Nebraska
also
not only
may
in my
have.
top 25, but ranked ahead of Michigan. I fell for it. So where's the, hang on. Do I have the clown music? I don't know. What do I have? Oh, wait, I do have clown
If you
music. Hang
don't, oh good.
on. Here we go.
So I know what stat lines you're
This
about
is
to
for all
say.
of us. If you believed Nebraska, like me, was going to do something against a team with a pulse, that's for you. I really did. I mean, I've watched this team a couple times. They just destroyed basically everyone in their path other than Cincinnati, but that was a week 1 game, so, whatever. And I'm going to read this to you, and this is from a reputable source. This is not made up. It sounds made up, but it's not. Nebraska is now, if you're driving, maybe pull over for this, or
Pull over real quick.
have some tissues in your hand, whatever you need
If you're
to do.
standing, sit. If you're sitting, lie down. If you're lying
If
down,
you're
be
lifting
prepared to die.
weights, don't do the next rep yet. Wait.
That's right. Nebraska is now 0-29 in their last 29 games against ranked opponents. 0-29.
Yeah, like not top 10. Just any ranked opponent.
Yeah.
Like, you should accidentally win one of those games. I feel like Kansas's streak might not have been that long.
Oh, couldn't
When
have
they
been.
were in the
They beat Texas. Well, I
depths
guess
of
Texas wasn't
depravity.
ranked, but yes, you're right.
But
They're-
I don't. I mean, it just bad, man.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Well, we should have known. Everybody should have known when it was a 1-score game, though. The fact that Scott Frost has gone back to Central Florida and it's just like automatically 3-0 makes this like, what is cursed about Nebraska?
Yeah.
Like, what did they do? What on earth did Nebraska do?
They have not
to-
beat a
to
ranked team
deserve
since
this?
2016. That's how long that streak goes
Oh.
back, by the way.
It's so bad. And they're
Yeah.
not bad. Like, it's just, but they gave up so many long runs to Michigan. That
Yeah.
defensive line, that linebacker core is not the same that it was last year. Unfortunately for them, the offense has gotten better and the defense has gotten significantly worse. It doesn't mean Nebraska can't have a really good season, but part of their issue is they allow a loss like this typically to snowball into 2 or 3 losses. So it's gonna be a really big deal how quickly they can regroup from this because they have a relatively manageable schedule. And an 8-4 or 9-3 record is still on the table for them if they can figure it out, and that would still be a successful season for them.
Yeah.
Especially if that included just one ranked win, just to get the monkey off your back. But if Dylan Raiola also spent a little less of his energy cosplaying and focusing on playing
Hey,
quarterback,
can you be your own guy for once, Dylan? It's
maybe
not-
they could also score a touchdown other than on a freak Hail Mary play at the end of
Yeah.
the first half. So, I mean, we also don't need to just let Raiola off the because he played okay, but he still needs to play better too. Like, the defense is not so bad that he can't overcome them.
Right.
Like, he was hypothetically the number one quarterback recruit in his class. And I still have not personally seen that level out of him. He's good, but I haven't seen I can help I'm going to be the reason my team wins this game. I haven't seen that out of Dylan Raiola at any point in time. And I think, and maybe this is unfair, but the Patrick Mahomes stuff kind of plays to it. He almost is like some coaches where it's like, I don't even want to win unless I can win the way I want to.
That makes me
like, I almost don't even care unless I can play the style of game I want to. Like, that's almost more important to me than winning the game. Kirk Ferentz. I would rather just play my style than I would even win the game. So, like, they got to lose that a little bit. They got to get this monkey off their back, but they're at home. That's the hard part here. Like, you had them and you were at home, but you were playing catch up all game.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
maybe I'm being too hard on Nebraska. I don't know.
Well, their last
no
ranked
harder than
victory
their
was
fan bases.
September 17th, 2016 against, at that time, 22 ranked Oregon.
Yeah.
It's been...
that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that game now. Okay, wow. Flashback. Sorry. It's 2 podcasts in a row. I have some scarred flashback.
Yep.
Yeah.
A lot happened that year, to be fair. It's not... I'll be honest, I don't know if I was focusing on that game that weekend.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, we'll move on to some more positive news, depending on which team you root for, I guess. Missouri, unbeaten still. And I look, I know what the schedule is. I know they play 6 home games in a row. But they are handling business. Look, Penn State could, and we'll talk about Penn State in a minute because we obviously have Penn State, Oregon, among other games coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Penn State's going to be in panic mode a little bit if they lose on Saturday, regardless. But there's added fuel to the fire now that Bo Trabula is playing as well as he is for Missouri. And to this point, having watched both teams, to me looks vastly superior to Drew Aller. I realize they're different offenses and they're asked to do different things. But my eyes don't lie to me right now in terms of how each of those quarterbacks look. We'll see. But I thought he looked good. Missouri is solid. They beat South Carolina. That's a good win. They host Alabama in 2 weeks, I believe it is. It's 2 or 3 weeks. So that's when we're going to find out if Missouri is real. But remember, this is a team that's got double-digit wins in each of the last 2 years. This is not some fluky team. Like, this is Eli Drinkwitz has been building this thing from the ground up with excellent recruiting, with being able to retain some players on his roster. You talk about the transfer portal. Ahmad Hardy might be the best running back in the country. If he's not on your top 5 in the Heisman ballot, then you have not been watching college football right now. That could change, but right now, if you are putting together your hypothetical Heisman ballot and you don't have him on your list, I just kind of question what you're doing right now because he is unbelievable. His ability to stay balanced, absorb hits, keep his feet, and get extra yards is just uncanny. So he's a pleasure to watch. It's a lot of fun. Missouri, really, really good start to the season, getting a big SEC win Saturday evening. Later on in the evening, or really just at the same time, I should say, Indiana just committed war crimes, atrocities against Illinois. And look,
just crazy.
I mean, you can say Illinois was overrated because I think they were, but even if you think Illinois was overrated, you still had Illinois in your top 25. To do that to another top 25 team, oh my, have mercy.
People who I trust had Illinois winning this game, including myself. Clearly, Vegas knew something, but they still only had Indiana favored by by 6. I mean, wild.
They took last season's disrespect personally.
I mean,
no doubt.
It's just Illinois.
It really reminds me of Ohio State, Wisconsin in the Big Ten title game back during the championship run. It was like, you know what? Screw it. We're going to demonstrate. Now, if they can keep this momentum, that would be great because it seems, if you could do this every week, that'd be fun, except for us. But
we don't play them this year.
Oh, that's right. Do it all you want.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe we'll see him in Indy, but other than that, I don't know Ohio State's schedule.
I think I undervalued, and it's hard when you're watching Cal play. in the ACC to be able to fully analyze quarterback play. But you know who is able to? Kirk Cignetti.
Yeah.
That man knows exactly who and what he wants out of the transfer portal. And Indiana's now going to be able to continue to recruit at a much better level than previously thought possible. They're not killing it, but they're doing much better there. And then he knows who he wants out of the portal, seasoned veteran guys that fit his offense and his defensive scheme very, very well. And Cooper and Surratt coming back at wide receiver for Indiana, man. Like, are we sure they're not the second best wide receiver core in the Big Ten?
Right.
Behind Ohio State? Because I'm not sure. And Mendoza loves throwing it to those guys, and they are outstanding. Illinois came into that game trying to take away Surratt, and they did early, but Cooper was killing them. And when you have two wide receivers that can do that on the outside and just beat your guys man to man, that puts your defense at just a real disadvantage. And Mendoza was on time, on target, which is exactly what Kirk Cignetti wants. He doesn't want the biggest arm quarterback. He doesn't even want the most athletic guy. He just wants an accurate passer that's going to run the offense properly. And again, it's one game. It's at home against Illinois. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but he looked better to me that night than even Curtis Rourke did.
Yeah.
And I thought he looked very nice for Indiana last year, but Mendoza looked even next level with these wide receivers to where, man, I mean, you watch that game and you're like, if Illinois is a top 25 team, which I'm not going to just totally throw them out, like they couldn't be still, like Indiana is capable of taking out anyone with that offense. So I'm so impressed, incredibly impressed by what Kirk Cignetti's done with Indiana. And Indiana now is, you know, everybody was asking this year coming into it, oh, who's the Indiana of the Big Ten? Indiana.
Yeah.
Indiana's still just the Indiana of the Big Ten. It's still just them. Somehow they're still able to sneak up on Illinois. They won't sneak up on anyone else the rest of the season, but they are in a great position, as good of a position as you can be this early on, to make another run at the playoff.
Parker Fleming at Stats O War on Twitter always puts out a really good graphic. Is did we get beat that bad? And it's net success rates. And frankly, I don't know off the top of my head what goes into that calculation, but I've got basically the biggest blowouts in all of college football, FPS versus FPS. Number one was Florida State versus Kent State, which you could see that coming. That was like a train wreck waiting to happen. Texas over Sam Houston. It was the first time we saw Arch Manning kind of look like who we thought Arch Manning might be. Oregon over Oregon State. We kind of saw that. And then number four is Indiana over Illinois. Just a total beatdown. Then you have, oddly enough, Clemson's actually on the completely other end of the spectrum where they lose by double digits, but if you really break into the numbers, they weren't maybe that far away. But at the end of the day, Clemson, it doesn't matter. That's a loss. So, interesting stats there. So that is at Stats O War. Parker Fleming does some good stuff over there. So, yeah, a lot of other things happening. I mean, we didn't even talk about it, but the noon slate, Texas Tech just obliterated Utah in Utah, and that doesn't happen. I don't care if Utah's more like they were last year. That does not happen in Salt Lake City. It just I don't care if it was 10 a.m. It was 10 a.m. It was 11 a.m. for Texas Tech. Who cares? That is a statement made because we knew Texas Tech's offense was going to be good because it has been, and it will continue to be. But their defense with just dudes all over the place who they portaled in. And it looks like this is a situation where all of their portal acquisitions are coming together and gelling immediately. We don't always see that. See, again, Florida State last year, there was a lot of problems, but that was part of the issue. That's not happening here. The opposite's happening here at Texas Tech.
And Florida State this year.
Well, sure. Yeah, exactly. So that's a legitimate team. If you look at their schedule, now that we have a slightly better picture of what the Big 12 looks like, that schedule for Texas Tech is not too bad. So if they're not in Arlington by season's end, then something has gone wrong, in my opinion. Yeah. So I'll mention one game that I was at. I had the chance to cover UNLV traveling to Miami. It ended up being a great, great game. I almost said Texas Tech. I've got Texas Tech on the mind. UNLV comes back 3 times down double digits. They lead that game for all of 18 seconds, and that's all they needed. They win 41-38. Dan Mullen, very excited to get his team to 4-0 for the second time in a row. This is the golden age of UNLV football. If you even ignore the 4 wins this year, the last 2 seasons, 20 wins, there's never been a time span with that number of wins in Rebels history. They only have 6 bowl games to their name as a program. So that's against a good Miami team. I realize the Redhawks fall to 0-3, but and Johnny, we'll talk about your worst list here in a minute. Of the 5 or 6 0-3 teams, they're not that bad. They're gonna, as long as Daquan Finn isn't out for too long, we'll see what his injury status is. But that's still a quality team. But great game. I mean, I kind of build it as kind of the premier game in the group of 5. Tulane, Mississippi, Ole Miss could have been that, but then it was an Ole Miss runaway.
Sad.
It was quite the game. So I was lucky enough to cover it. So stay tuned to our social medias. We've got more coverage coming from that game, kind of a recap article and some videos and some stuff from there. I got a chance to interview both coaches. That's up on our social medias as well. So I'll say this for UNLV, and then we can move on to week 5. They're 4-0. Mm-hmm. And look, I think the American would have to really beat each other up to not get the playoff spot, because you've got South Florida with their resume. And I realize it went bad for Tulane, but Tulane's got quality pieces. They've got quality wins. Memphis beat Arkansas. That's a big statement for them. I know Arkansas is not the greatest SEC team ever, but that's still significant. You've got Navy, which no one's talking about. And again, I'll remind everyone, I've got Navy second. I had Navy second in my preseason American poll because I think they're just really, really solid. They bring back a ton of talent. Horvath, the quarterback, is still there. So I think that's a team to watch. Even if they don't win the conference, it's Navy, so they're going to mess up someone's season. But as long as that group, and by the way, North Texas is 4-0. We haven't even talked about them. They're in the American as well. Mm-hmm. So it looks like it'll probably be the American in the playoff. It's also September 22nd. It's a little early to say that, especially since I've shunned the playoff. But if things go crazy in the American, they go upside down, UNLV has a real path to an 11-1, maybe even a 12-0 season. They've got to get past Boise State in Boise, mind you. But I think it's possible. That is a great offense. The defense needs some work. If it doesn't happen for UNLV, it's because their defense just cannot pull it together. And they've been a bend but don't break kind of defense so far. They've got a lot of turnovers. So it's a fun team to watch. If you've not watched the Rebels, I encourage you to do so. It's a lot of fun out there. So that's my group of 5 recap for you. Gentlemen, let's talk week 5.
Oh, I'm so ready.
How nervous are we for this Ohio State at Washington game? Vegas would like you to believe that our nervous meter should be ticking up because the line is ticking down.
Mm-hmm. About a 7.
Yeah.
7 out of 10. Like, it's Julian Sain's first road test in the Big Ten. Yeah. It's a West Coast road trip. Which is complicated. Mm-hmm. And then, like, Washington is an underrated place to have to go play volume-wise. And Washington has the offensive firepower to be capable of beating Ohio State. Like, it is a losable game. And I know everybody's probably like rolling their eyes, like they're all losable. No, like for certain programs like Georgia, Ohio State, Alabama in their heyday, there are only certain games on the schedule that are even losable, even in conference. This is a losable game for the Buckeyes for everything I just said. Coming off the bye, I would hope that would be of help, especially since Washington was playing in the Apple Cup this last weekend, and they lost the Apple Cup last year. I don't know how focused Washington was able to just like look ahead to the Buckeyes either. So that is potentially of help, but they're going to get some serious challenges in this game, even if they are able to win.
Josh, what's your panic or nervous meter at for that game?
I'm pushing for a 5.
Okay.
I'm not as nervous, but it's just and this isn't anything specific against Ohio State necessarily. It is the nature of how brutal these West Coast away games have been for both sides of the new conference, and honestly, the ACC as well. I know we joke about the All Coast Conference, but the ACC and Big Ten have abysmal traveling records, and so now the only time Ohio State has done okay was that Rose Bowl in recent memory. But the first time they hit Oregon, and that was early in the season, they were still figuring things out. Game got away from them. And we all remember what happened. And so my only concern is, and this is why it's a 5. My only concern would be, are they going in not prepared, or they're gonna, like you said, Julian Saint's first travel game. There's a whole wealth of things that you can't anticipate until they come up. And when those happen, if your team isn't prepared, they're not going to do well, like we saw with Will Howard in that last whatever that drive was against Oregon last year. The only difference, and this is why I'm dropping it down a little bit, is the coaching staff went through that game last time.
Sure.
He didn't, and that's okay. That's what the coaches are for. To have already done that, learned from their mistakes, and gone, okay, here's how we control the type of momentum when it feels like the game might get away from us in an away game. A true like road game, not like a championship or neutral site type thing. So I'm not as worried, but it's like this game and only one or two left on the schedule where I'm like,
Sure.
it'll be fine.
Yeah.
I think.
Yep. Other action happening in the Big Ten. I mentioned USC travels to Illinois, which is interesting because now you kind of have the opposite of the Ohio State Washington, where the West Coast team is coming east. Is this a get-right game for Illinois, or are they just going to roll over against another really, really good offense in USC? I think we're about to find out. And you know what? I don't know this to be true. I can't imagine it to be true because of how good Indiana was. Is there any chance Illinois was looking past Indiana at USC?
Yes.
That rematch of the Rose Bowl from forever ago?
That's entirely possible.
I think it's definitely possible because this has been the game that's been talked about for Illinois other than the OSU game all year.
Yeah.
It was even, I think USC looked ahead for this game themselves at times early in the schedule. My question is, and I don't know this because also the forecast is ahead of schedule and it's in September, not in October. What's the weather in Champaign?
Yeah.
Because we know that weather, that wind off the plains can be a great equalizer for the Illini and shut down high-powered offenses just because of that wind. That's not always something you can bank on, but if they get a little help like that from that, or a careless turnover from Maliava, which has been a bit of a struggle at times for him, if Illinois starts the game off well, it's a dogfight. If USC gets on them quickly, I think you're just going to know what type of game this is in the first couple minutes. I don't think it'll take long at all. Something's going to happen very early to let you know whether Illinois is up for the fight or they're not. And if they're up for the fight, USC's got to get the monkey off their back of those close one-score games against Big Ten opponents and really struggling on the road as well. So there's a huge mental game here. Not that every game isn't, of course they are. But Illinois just trying to get past that Indiana game now. And they're at home. And USC trying to get past a quality road opponent in the Big Ten. And what if it's close? It could potentially be a leap pad game for USC if it's close and they find a way to win.
Yep.
I actually think they have a higher potential of taking a huge leap from this game if it is close and they win, rather than they win by like 14. In a very weird way, it would almost do more for them to win a very hotly contested, tight game on the road against the Illini. So it's a very fascinating game.
Speaking of West Coast teams, specifically California-based teams, traveling east, facing wind that they may not be used to, and what could be a tighter game than people expect. Johnny, thank you for mentioning that UCLA will be traveling to the Lanny and Sharon Martin Stadium,
Yes.
taking on the 1-2 Northwestern.
Woo!
Well, you don't just walk into the Lanny and Sharp. I didn't even remember the
Martin
stadium name. You don't just walk in there and expect a win.
That's right.
No.
That is a beautiful temporary stadium, by the way. They should have just made it with a larger capacity and kept it there.
And also not played at Wrigley.
Yes.
Make Big
Everybody
Ten
keeps
teams
talking
come in
about
there
like,
in
what
November.
about the wind and the winter weather?
Northwestern, you're not throwing the ball.
Great.
Wonderful. I embrace
That's
the
why we
wind and
put
the winter
Northwestern
weather.
there.
Yeah.
We do.
Yes.
I say that as if
Oh,
Preston
but the
Stone isn't
tide's
their
coming
quarterback,
in.
Still.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Great. The tide is part of the game too.
That's your play clock.
Tide is part of the football game.
Yeah.
The tide comes in. That's a natural occurrence. Deal with it.
Yeah.
We've seen teams play basically in hurricane conditions. I embrace this.
Yeah. If the wind chill is cold enough where it would kill an average man, that's exactly when you want to play your football games if you're Northwestern.
Yes.
It's just how it is. It's just how it is. Josh, thank you for bringing up that game.
Oh, you're very welcome.
That, by the way. Not a doubt in my mind.
Yeah, no, I would say I don't know
everything
enough to make
on
I don't have an
UCLA
objective. Northwestern has not played enough. We were just talking about this pre-show. We were talking about the nature of like Johnny has his worst teams and he wants to, rightly so, caveat, hey, this is my like worst teams so far. We don't want to go too big too fast. All right. We've seen this with every preseason poll, every preseason playoff poll. Hey, you don't know. So I want to hold my
and Josh,
reservations
we always like
for
to talk about the
Northwestern.
MAC, right?
Exactly. We've talked about
the MAC plays the killer schedule the first 3 games.
Exactly.
Miami, 0-3. They're a good team. I promise.
Yeah, it's okay. Sometimes these things happen. So like I'm not calling Northwestern a good or bad team yet. They've just not played enough. UCLA, I'm pretty sure. I got UCLA. I'm pretty confident. I think I got enough sample
Northwestern
size.
is a team, though.
Northwestern is also a team, and that is a great point.
Yes,
that's the kind of insight you sign up for when you.
UCLA is a group of guys who happens to go in on the same color jersey.
I thought you were going to say ended up in like the same speech class freshman year, but close enough.
Also, now please, you think Nico's going to class? Come on, the guy took The guy took a 90% pay cut to lose.
He really needs to be going to class.
You should be. You better be in class, Sky.
Yeah, what's the stat? 99%. I won't rub it in, but anyways. Yikes! I'm excited for that game. That'll be fun. Hey, big day in the SEC as well. I mean, frankly, when is it not? Tennessee travels to Mississippi State. It's not a top 25 matchup per the misinformed AP poll, but the 5th and Goal poll that will come out in the next couple of days, you will see that this is a ranked matchup, as it should be based on resume. Because lo and behold, Arizona State beats Baylor. Whatever. We'll get to them in a second. But that's a really interesting game. Cowbells will be cowbelling in that game. Of course, you've also got a, ho-hum Alabama at Georgia on Saturday night. So that will be quite a lot of fun. So that's a pretty good test. Is Alabama more of what they showed against Florida State? Or are they kind of more of the Alabama that you and I are familiar with? That's going to be put to the test in about the biggest way you can possibly put it to. So that'll be fun. That'll be kind of one of those we'll break down next week. LSU at Ole Miss. I mean, wow. Is LSU really deserving of the spot that the AP poll has them in? Because again, it's all based on that win against Clemson. And Clemson seems to be a bit fraudulent. So
we need to readjust, but Ole Miss will help us readjust if that's necessary.
Yeah. And that one is at Ole Miss. So interesting quarterback matchup there for sure. One thing I'll also mention, if you're looking for a Friday night game, good news, we've got a great one TCU travels to Arizona State. Yes, Arizona State has that loss to Mississippi State, but their Big 12 slate is off to a 1-0 start thanks to their win against and at Baylor. Game-winning field goal got the job done there for the Sun Devils. TCU undefeated with Josh Hoover running the show at quarterback, so that will be a lot of fun and fresh off their iron skillet. So no rest for the weary for TCU. They go right to Tempe late Friday night. That's a great Big 12 matchup. Those are most of the games. There's one specific game that we have not talked about, and we will because we're picking it. But before we get into our picks, we've hinted at it. Johnny, you prepare every year, and this is the first time we've talked about it. Also, can I just say how weird the color is outside right now? It's like a weird green. Anyways.
That means tornado.
Yeah, we're probably cooked, but 'tis Ohio in September. That's not even when tornadoes come through here. Anyways, doesn't matter.
Good.
Johnny puts together a list of the worst teams in college football every year. Now, I'm going to stop right there because if you're new to this show, your first thought might be, well, that's incredibly mean. And no, it's not like that. It's not. Well, it could be if that's. Johnny's nodding his head like it is incredibly mean. So therefore it is. But that's not the intent. The intent is, hey, these teams are desperate. They need your support. We need to get these teams off this list, root for them, turn off Oregon at Penn State, turn off Alabama at Georgia, watch Akron play Kent State. They're not playing this week, so you don't have to do that. But that's the idea. Support these teams. They need your help. Johnny, who needs our help?
Ooh. Well, first off, echo everything Aaron said. Support these teams. And if you, per the Sicko Committee's instructions, if you run in to any of these teams' apparel in a Marshalls, in a TJ Maxx, in a Walmart, but usually the first two I mentioned have random teams, and you are not in that geographical region, such as UMass, who is number one on my worst list. If you find a UMass piece of equipment or apparel while you are hanging out in Jacksonville, Florida, you are required per edict of the Sickos Committee to purchase said apparel item. They need our support. So UMass 0-3, they lost to FCS Bryant. Losing to an FCS school automatically gets you on the worst list, no matter who you are.
Not allowed.
Eastern Michigan, 0-3. They lost to Long Island. The Sharks have not had a football program for very long. That's pretty bad. Those two are easily the biggest standouts. Most of the other teams I have, their only wins are against FCS opponents, and most of the time by very thin margins. First off, shout out Merrimack. Merrimack is an FCS program that plays all of the teams on the worst list, apparently. And that is Kent State's lone win. They're on the worst list, 1-3. And they are also Kennesaw State. Welcome the Owls once again to the FBS ranks. It's their second year, right, Aaron? Second year?
Yes, that's correct.
So they're 2-2. So good on Kennesaw. If you're not familiar with the worst list bylaws and rules, if you get to 4 wins, does not matter who the 4 wins are against, you are automatically removed from said list. Because if you're 4-8, you're not good, but you're not the worst. So other teams, I already mentioned Kent State, Nevada is on there, Georgia State, rough day against Vandy, but they were looking for revenge. Also, always here, Akron, Middle Tennessee, Sam Houston, UTEP's back. UTEP, I was hoping you'd be gone.
I know.
But wedged in all those schools I just mentioned is a school that has no business being anywhere near this worst list, and it's UCLA.
Yeah.
And we talked about them last week, and we're going to have to keep talking about them, apparently, because they are awful. They are just terrible. I don't know what the way out is. Maybe John Gruden wants to come save them. But this is a school with no resources and no fan support. And there's not a lot of Power 4 schools like that, really. Usually you might struggle with fan support or you might struggle with resources. But the fact that you have neither, that's no good. I don't even know what UCLA does now. So they're bad. They're easily my lowest Power 4 team. And you know what? They could give UMass a run for their money. Let's see. I want a bowl game between UCLA and UMass if they both go 0-12.
Oh, yes.
Anyway, let's move along. Second worst, because I know you guys are all wanting the Power Four worst, because we cheer for the Group of Five worst. We
Right.
want them to succeed.
Right.
The Power Four, as much as Aaron said, oh, this is a positive list. When it comes to the Power Four, it's not really. It's not really. These teams, be better. You're better than this. Oklahoma State, man, what's happened?
Oh, my.
I mean, wasn't it just 2 years ago, Mike Gundy, that team was like a half yard short of a Big 12 title
Half foot.
and the playoff?
Yep.
And
Man.
man, how the mighty have fallen. Losing to Tulsa this week. Tulsa, also a member of the worst list, but they have a good chance of getting out now. That's 2-2 for Tulsa. Their other win, Abilene Christian. So Oklahoma State 1-2, very bad. First time in over 50 years, Oklahoma State has lost at home to Tulsa. And they play, I mean, it's a rivalry game, if you will. I don't like having teams like Missouri State since it's their first year on here, but they're 2-2, and I kind of like having them on the first list when it's year one, just so that I can give them some extra attention. But they beat Marshall. They're 2-2, and they're not only winning against FCS programs, they'll be off this list very shortly. But Boston College lost to Stanford, who that was the one game I think we mentioned. Oh, Stanford might win that game. So you have Boston College and Stanford next, along with Oregon State 0-4. And that's a bad Beavers team.
Yeah.
Virginia Tech, another mighty, has fallen. Northwestern is on the list, Josh, because they struggled even to beat Western Illinois. But they're much better than UCLA. They're going to win that game.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. They're going to win that game. So that's an update on the worst list.
I love it.
We will update you again in a few weeks when we have more information and data to go off of. But if you see this game, especially when we get to Maction, and we still don't have a nickname for Conference USA in the middle of the week, but if you see this game on a Tuesday night, a Wednesday night, a Thursday night, you are obligated to watch that game, and you are not, more than anything, you are not allowed to call it bad football. There is no bad football, sir.
Correct.
No bad football.
That happens in the NFL.
This is excellent football. Yes, bad football in the NFL happens all college.
Yeah, it's called Packers-Browns.
Oof.
Hey, I know we're going to get to picks of the week. Hey.
Oh.
Thought it was a safe pick.
I think you and everyone else, Josh, no fault.
I think even the Packers. I feel like they even.
It destroyed a lot of people's eliminator challenge.
Now.
Yeah, you weren't alone in that.
Great defensive work.
Yeah, that's
very
true.
proud.
Yeah.
I'm not, as an Ohioan, I'm not upset when the Browns do well. Like, I'm not upset at. Oh, it is kind of funny. But listen, and I don't want to be mean. At this stage, compared to the Bengals, it feels like the Browns are safer. They're trying.
I'm not going to say anything after this.
I know.
Weekend.
It feels from my perspective, it feels like they're trying. Now, are they? We're at like a relative level where you have the cheapest franchise in the league in the Bengals and the most dysfunctional franchise in the league.
It's
that
not
happens
fair
to be outputting slightly better in the Browns. So this is not like I'm going, oh man, they're going to be. But I say that, and then I don't want to just dive right into NFL. Then we have my guy, Jerry Jones, being quoted. First off, I guess now this is an NFL segment. I'm so sorry. My goodness, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 0 sacks.
This is not a good time. I really regret this.
You're gonna have to add another quotes to the quote machine, to the Jerry quote box.
Happily.
Jerry Jones is quoted because if you're not familiar with how he runs things, he does the press interviews.
Yeah, he asks the questions and then answers them himself.
Yes, he sends the questions out to then answer them.
Right.
After their loss to the Bears, Jones was asked, thank you, NBC Sports, for being able to put this up online. Jones was asked if he would consider trading the Packers picks for a player. Like take those picks as, collateral leverage into getting a player now.
Right.
Here's an
Jones said that
example of a styled player that they'd want, Josh.
Yeah, so Jones said that it would depend on whether a player is available. Quote, if I had the opportunity to do some good with these picks, I would do it. We've got them, and that's one of the advantages to making a trade. You've got to have something that comes your way that's really special. And if you've got the currency to do it, which in this case would be draft picks, you'll do it.
Oh my gosh. We're not even Cowboys fans, and we're like just so hurt.
Jones said the Cowboys can't necessarily make a big trade if no other teams are making big time players available. Hey, sir.
Poor
to
Cowboys
use that
fans.
capital, you've got to have the opportunity to use it, Jones said. What'd you say?
I said poor Cowboys fans, and I don't think I've ever said that.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever said that before.
Hey, no worries. The Cowboys play an easy opponent.
This is the last, truly the last statement. Who wrote this article? Michael David Smith. My guy, get out of jail free card. If you're ever in DFW, I'll come give you a firm handshake. Last sentence of the article. Jones said he believes the Cowboys are a Jones said he believes the Cowboys are a playoff caliber team, but that their defense has to play better. Using those extra draft picks to trade for an impact player on defense could be an option.
Oh my gosh. I thought his last sentence was going to be the Cowboys are a playoff team if the field expands to 32. Saints would miss the playoffs, by the way, if the field expanded to 32.
Saints would miss the playoffs too.
Oof. The Dolphins and Saints still missing the playoffs. Yeah, Josh, that's wild. We'll get back into the NFL because let's.
I get why Miami has pretty much lost. I get why.
Sure.
I'm forgetting his name off the top of my head, but him has lost the locker room in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
According to reports, this is just every week I look at the Cowboys and I go, how have they not lost the locker room? And I think that's a big credit to what McCarthy's been able to do there. Wait, is he still there? They fired him again. Oh, yeah, it's that other guy. That's right. It's the other guy.
But part of that's probably because the players and the coaches are united against the owner.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes,
at this point,
sure.
Certainly
that's not going to be public facing at all. But I'll hit the bumper for picks of the week because we're going to jump right back into this NFL conversation.
Yes. I feel ashamed because I announced the coaching change when I remember it now.
Oh, yeah.
We're doing great.
Yep.
Anyway, yeah. I'm going to mute.
Sometimes the guys make picks based on their vast knowledge of sports. Sometimes they make picks based on vibes.
Josh, why do you like journalism specifically?
It's because it's a concept and it's like, I don't know. I just think for me, it's like a horse learning how to not only write, not only write and edit, but also like do like some sort of like in-field reporting. And I just like the idea of a horse with a little voice recorder.
Holds a mic up to the other horses.
Either way, they're probably going to be wrong. It's time for Picks of the Week.
It is Picks of the Week. And it's a two-parter. Because we have been doing for a week. Last week we started in the middle of the season, as one does, apparently. We started an NFL
I'm 3-0.
Eliminator. Yeah, that's right. Because we just assumed he would get the first 2 weeks right. So we just decided, let's just wait till week 3. So I picked Kansas City. The Chiefs, in not surprising fashion, did defeat the New York Giants 22-9 last night. Johnny correctly picked the Buffalo Bills to beat whoever they were playing. Oh, Miami. That was right. That was
Dolphins.
Thursday night. Yeah, the Dolphins. We had a casualty.
I got to admit, Josh, they got you. You said they don't take the L and all of that stuff, and they won the game. And
that meaning the Cleveland Browns. They defeated Josh's for the week Green Bay Packers. So I regret to inform you, Johnny, myself, and the audience that Josh, you are dead in the NFL Eliminator.
I mean, Myles Garrett, congratulations for breaking every curve. I mean, great job.
Yeah.
Very happy that you have been able to find success in a franchise. Can you do that? Either be so good this year, but you won't because y'all have 9 quarterbacks, and they'll just switch them out like I don't know, something you switch out. See, I'm not even
Play
in the
2
mood.
quarterbacks at once. Honestly, try Myles Garrett at quarterback. Let him play both ways.
That'd probably go really well, to be honest.
I'm sure I'm not the first person to suggest that. Browns fans probably everywhere have been like, just try it. See if Myles can do it.
You know what? Yeah. Even if he's a rushing quarterback, try and just I think he's gonna do better.
Wildcat might go well.
Wildcat could work.
Well, it means that Johnny and I are the only 2 alive right now in NFL Eliminator. We continue week 4. So what I'm going to do is not cheating because week 3 is not over yet as we're sitting here recording Monday Night Football between the Baltimore Ravens and my Detroit Lions has not happened yet. So my answer for week 4 is dependent on how this night goes. Because if the Lions lose tonight in Baltimore, which is unfortunately a very realistic possibility, my pick for week 4...
I would like them to win.
Well, clearly I would. Yeah, all of us would, I think. I will be rooting for that. But if they lose, my week 4 eliminator pick will be the Detroit Lions, who would be 1-2, a home game against Cleveland, who I realize Cleveland just beat Green Bay. I get that. But I don't think that happens on the road in Detroit. I think the Lions with the Browns and then a date against Johnny's Bengals the week after that, I think a couple get back right games for the Lions if they do fall 1-2. So that's my thought if the Lions lose tonight. However, if the Lions do exactly what we all want them to do and beat the Ravens, my pick is, I'm not going to call it a layup because a foolish man would utter those words in an NFL eliminator. But New Orleans travels to Buffalo. Enough said. I'm looking for what the line is. It's probably... What is the line? Oh, my.
15.
Oh, yeah. 15.5. Oh,
wow.
Woo.
Yeah, I don't read into that too much.
For those of you guys uninitiated, these are all professional players. We talk about this all the time. The level of like realized talent is a lot narrower than some of these scores in games seem to indicate. The love that we have for college football is that you can genuinely have like such a talent disparity. You can have an Ohio State go against a UMass. They will never do that, but it'd be funny. Or we genuinely had a win against Grambling State. Like, you can have these types of things. There was enough shock this past week at that shutout. There were former players chiming in going, I was on the 0-16 Lions and I did not get shut out. Like, to get a spread like that is unprecedented.
That's crazy. Basically, if you don't know what that means...
And take the over.
The Saints are plus 15.5. That means if you bet $100 for the Saints to cover the 15.5, you lose $100. That's what that means. So there's your betting tip, kids.
Congratulations.
So Johnny, lay up for me potentially. I may go with it either way, but Buffalo if the Lions win. Lions if they
really
win.
You should, but you're probably thinking you want to save Buffalo,
right?
Which I get. Which is that if you're again uninitiated, you don't want to necessarily pick all the great options right off the bat. At the same time, if you lose a week, you're done. So it's up to you. I am going with the Lions against the Browns. Great win for the Browns. They're feeling really good, but they're going on the road. And as great as that defense is for the Browns, which they have played excellent, they really have, they're just not going to be able to continue to do this. And the Lions defense has struggled. They have injury issues still. It just also they haven't been able to fully get it together defensively. The Browns don't scare you.
No.
offensively, there's nothing that scares you about that Browns offense. The Lions are at home. I expect the Lions to win that game no matter what happens here at Monday night. So I'm going to stick with the Lions for my eliminator pick.
All right. We're not done with picks of the week yet because we are picking. It's taken us an hour into the show, but that's okay. Oregon at Penn State. What a doozy of a game. Credit College Game Day after a lapse in judgment and going to Miami from Miami, Florida.
Terrible.
They are actually foregoing Alabama, Georgia, and they're going to Happy Valley for this Oregon at Penn State game. The whiteout, it's happening at night, notably. This is not a big noon game. This is the NBC prime time game. I think Oregon's going to win. I think Dante Moore has been incredibly just a bright spot. I think he's been everything that Oregon and their fans thought he could be and more. I did not mean to do that. I apologize. Pun truly not intended. I think their defense is just rock solid as ever. And I think Penn State has kind of, just treading water, getting through a pretty easy portion of their schedule to this point, which is notable because they haven't had to play, not that Oregon's played like anyone too crazy, but no body blows dealt to Penn State this year and a bye week going into this game. The way I see it, just based on the eye test, Oregon should win this game. But I had Penn State as my number one preseason team. And it was because I thought they would win this game. So I'm sticking with it. Now, this does not mean I have to rank Penn State number one in my poll. That would be a foolish mistake, AP voters. That's not what that means, because that poll is based on on-field results and your resume. But in terms of just purely my prediction, I had Penn State winning this game at the beginning of the year. I'm going down with the ship if it goes down. I'm picking Penn State.
I'm going with my gut, which is traveling team doesn't do well. My only exception has to be Ohio State because Homer. Otherwise, I take the traveling team in these situations. It's almost an 80% chance at this point, and I'm not a stats guy, but it's hard for me to. It's going to be a good game, but I think Oregon's got this.
Okay.
So you think Oregon, despite traveling, Josh?
Oh, I'm sorry. At Penn State. Sorry, I misread it.
Whiteout.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm all by myself.
It's okay. I probably took too much Tylenol today.
That's okay.
And
I am all alone, which is what I figured. Okay.
I always take home team on these massive travel games.
Everything you guys said is true. Penn State's coming off a bye week. Oregon was playing Oregon State. If you think they were worried about that, then and not focused on Penn State, I probably disagree, but fair enough. However, Oregon has looked so much better than I ever expected, especially on offense, coming into the season with massive questions at wide receiver, which I still have those questions against quality opponents. Penn State's defense is not the question coming into the game. Dante Moore, despite how excellent he's been so far this season, has not experienced remotely this type of road environment. The receivers have not had to face DBs like this all season. Yet, I still am not 100% sure of what I'm going to see out of Drew Aller and those receivers. What I'm going to see late in the game from James Franklin. I am playing with Penn State as I am not picking you until you prove it to me. And I know they've played bad competition and they haven't looked great. I also realize sometimes it's because you're playing vanilla schemes against those teams. You're trying to save stuff for a game like Oregon. So they're going to come out and they're going to have something for Oregon that we haven't seen so far out of them this season. Still, I just really have never seen a game where it's, oh man, Drew Aller won that game. And I don't know if he's going to have to win this game, depending on what Penn State's defense is able to do to Dante Moore. But that Oregon offensive line is something that I absolutely trust in. And so I don't think if Oregon does lose, it won't be because Dante Moore's running for his life and has no time. So I'm going to go with Oregon. I trust Dan Lanning more than I trust, I just don't trust Penn State.
Yeah.
I don't trust Penn State. I had them winning this game, as Aaron did before the season started, but Oregon looks worlds better than I expected. Pun intended there. If you follow the transfer portal. And Penn State just still leaves something to be desired.
Yeah.
I just can't even totally put my finger on it. But there's a lot of special talented players, but I'm not seeing special results on the field. So give me the Ducks.
Everything I've seen from Penn State fans, they echo your sentiment. They would not disagree. So we'll see. Should be an awesome one, though. It's good to see the whiteout at night. Yay, NBC. Thank you.
The guys spent hours scrolling social media, and they found some pretty dumb stuff. Now they want to talk to you about it.
Do they need a guy on weekends to like walk around random McDonald's and like dressed as a Grimacy? Because I'll take that.
Are you okay saying bad things about the British?
Good luck. It's time for What We're Following.
Well, we don't have to say bad things about the British. No, it's not the British. I was about to say we're sending them the Steelers and Vikings, but we're not. The Steelers and Vikings next week are going to Ireland, but still related. Oh, Grimacy might be there.
Well, I don't know if you want to be saying still related. I think they did have a few discussions about that.
Yes, not the people, the conversation. How's that?
Yes,
tickets as low as $799. There you go.
Hey, speaking of ticket prices,
yikes.
That makes sense because it doesn't happen terribly often. Northwestern, I was just looking up tickets to be like, hey, you want to go watch it? Cheapest tickets are $100.
Good for Northwestern. I'm assuming that means the whole place is sold out.
Yes, that's what it's looking at. It looks like it's mostly resale tickets.
I love it.
So good job, guys. Play that game.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, we talked about a lot of college football teams, but there's one specifically that we have not talked about yet, and it's time that we do. And it's the first time the three of us are on this show together getting to talk about this team. If you're new to this show and you're wondering who is singing behind you, first of all, how dare you? That is the revered alma mater of UT Rio Grande Valley, better known as Utagurv.
Aaron, remind the good folks listening to the podcast how many campuses or campi Utagurv has.
Two campi. And
2 main campuses, by the way.
True.
Campi, sorry.
Just
2 main campi.
2 main campi.
Not branches.
4 wins, 0 losses. They handed Texas Wesleyan on Hispanic Heritage /956 night a 61-13 loss. The week before, on Utagurv's 10th anniversary, mind you, they beat Langston 80-0. The week before that, their first ever road game at Prairie View A&M win 27-21. And of course, we talked about
FCS school.
Yeah, FCS
Got
school, which is where Utagurv plays football now, and their remaining 8 games are against FCS opponents. So it's getting real for the Vaqueros, but we know they can handle it. They're at Southeastern. Mm-hmm. That's on ESPN Plus at 6 p.m., which is probably Central, so 7 p.m. Eastern time. Upcoming on their schedule, homecoming. They welcome in. We may have to go cover this game, frankly.
Ooh.
On October 25th, Utagurv hosts number 8 Incarnate Word on homecoming in Edinburgh, Texas at Robert and Janet Vickers Stadium.
Yeah. Is this in the Brownsville campus or a different campus?
I don't know. And the fact that I don't know makes it just that much more beautiful.
Good at both.
Yeah.
They're both beautiful. Aaron, I've seen enough Welcome to Conference USA, Utagurv.
Oh, no kidding. This, by the way,
I've seen enough.
This Saturday's game is their first ever Southland Conference game. First conference game as a program at Southeastern. So, love that. I don't know what the RV stands for next to some of these games. Couldn't tell you. Doesn't matter.
That's probably which campus it's on?
No, because it's at, and it says in parentheses RV, and it says Southeastern. And that's the case for like Lamar, Stephen F. Austin, Nichols.
Oh, they're on the road for those games?
No, but Nichols is home. I'm so confused what that means.
Oh. I thought RV might be it saying which campus they're playing on.
Yeah,
like
I mean, and that would make
both
sense.
Home stadiums.
But that doesn't seem to be the case. I don't know what that
Two
stands for.
home stadiums.
Oh, you got to love it. Yeah. UNLV, this could have been you. You could have had two home stadiums. So I'm following Utagurv football because everyone should be. I'm also following something else. I allegedly made some comments about a baseball team last week. Allegedly. There's no...
I don't remember them.
Good thing this show doesn't go out on the internet. So there's no history of that.
No, they're still dead to me, Aaron. I hate them.
There's no record of me saying anything disparaging about a baseball team whose brand I am representing on my t-shirt and in my background. That does not exist. So
everything's backwards on the screen, so I can't read what's going on.
Yep. So that
possible deniability.
Yeah, did not happen. Or if they prove me right by the end of this week, it did happen, and I'll replay it. I'll put it on the soundboard. So I'm aware of the comments that were allegedly made by, you know what? I may not have even made those comments. I'll put it this way. I'm aware of comments that were allegedly made by one of the hosts of this show about a major league team. That's as specific as I'd like to be.
I would just, the only thing that I'd like to mention as well, as I am a man of my word, and if said team does wander their way, meander, if you will,
sure,
into postseason,
yeah,
I will be leaving the state as has been promised and requested for the good of this team.
Right.
I got a near mattress with your name on it.
Got to get away.
And when that one's leak finally happens, I got a backup also with your name on it.
Perfect.
You may need to go further east, Johnny. That may be where you need to go, based on current matchup.
Deal.
Yeah.
Deal.
Okay. Boston it is.
I'll go back to Europe.
There you go.
There you go. Away.
Yep.
That didn't help though. That's when they were losing. It didn't help.
You were too okay. So that's a good point. There is
within the country, but not
difference. Yeah, there's a maximum distance you can be to where it almost ends up being just as bad. When were they their strongest?
Well, if
the last 3 nights.
What if the world is flat, but it's like flat on both sides? So it's not just like totally flat this way. It's like a sandwich almost.
A square.
And so you were just you were underneath this part, but right underneath where the Reds play. So you were actually much closer to the the alleged Major League Baseball team.
Yeah,
right, so I just need to go to the East Coast.
Yeah.
East Coast.
Yeah.
Go to Virginia Beach. Go have a good time.
Yeah.
Leaves are starting to change, I imagine. Do a little bit of app trail.
I'll get out of here for the good of the team.
Yep.
The good of the team.
That I hate. So I'm following that, but I'm also following
the feeling's
Columbus
mutual,
Crew,
I think.
because the Columbus Crew hate me too. And can't keep a lead at the end of the game, and all their best forwards keep getting hurt. So I hate them as well right now. I mean, they all hate me. The Bengals hate me. The Crew hate me. The team that shall not be named in Major League Baseball hates me. The Buckeyes are the only things that I can rely on. That's why I'm worried out of my mind about this Washington game this weekend, because it's all going south right now. And when it goes south, it goes south. And I don't have the Cavs right now, not yet, to help me. So we are in trouble. But other than that, Josh, I cede all my extra time to what you're following.
Thank you. Normally, I try to bring joy and happiness and a little bit of just, relief at the end of a show where we've all been yelling most likely about something.
Hmm.
This week it has to be a little different because, again, on my TikTok feed, I was presented with a man. Aaron, I talked about this off air with you. But too many things happened last week. I needed to cover them all. But I can finally talk now. A man named the Colonel at Real Colonel Sanders on TikTok came onto my For You page a few weeks ago. Now, he claims to be the great nephew, the great grandnephew of Colonel Sanders, Colonel Harlan Sanders of KFC fame, Kentucky Fried Chicken
The
fame.
heir, if you will.
Truly so, because he said, hey, guess what? I am filing suits against KFC because, well, first off, he said because they have been disrespecting the legacy of his great uncle. If you're not familiar, after the real Colonel died, and I would say most specifically just a few years ago. First off, the Colonel Sanders, real person. Let's get that out of the way. Some people think he was like invented, like Johnny Appleseed. No, real guy,
Whoa,
real Colonel.
hold on. Also real, like Johnny Appleseed and Paul Bunyan.
And
All
Big
real.
Red.
And Big
Yes.
Red.
I mean, you can go see him today, so we know he's real.
Oh yeah, they just call him John Chapman. I guess that's a more natural name to be born with than Appleseed. So just like,
sorry, not to interrupt, but I'm just
Mrs.
thinking
Butterworth.
there's a coach in college football named Major Applewhite. That's all I've got to say about that.
Oh, thank you. That's important.
Yep.
Equally as real, Colonel Harlan Sanders had his own chicken recipe, made Kentucky Fried Chicken, and when he sold it, he would go to different KFC locations and just rip on their chicken and how bad it was. I think that I've actually covered this before. When the Colonel died and KFC realized they didn't need to follow him or obey anything he said because he's dead. In their advertisements, in their marketing, they would like switch out Colonel Sanders in their TV ads like every 6 months to a year. They would just throw like a random celebrity, male or female, didn't matter. They just throw like Colonel Sanders gear on them and they would sell their newest hot Nashville chicken thing. Okay, whatever. It's dumb. Overseas, they went a little harder. There's a Colonel Sanders dating simulator.
There is.
Yeah. I'm not going to say the name of it, but there is. There's a Colonel Sanders, I guess, rom-com. That one's English.
This has got to be China. This has got to be China, right?
I Love You, Colonel Sanders is the video game. When I said I didn't want to say it, it's because I forgot the name. Japan. I believe it's Japan. It's free on Steam if you're interested. But don't be interested. Do not be interested.
I mean, you can play it for research purposes only.
Play it for research purposes.
Yeah.
No, KFC's massive in like Japan.
It's massive everywhere, Josh. It's good chicken.
Well, not according to the Colonel. He spoke ill of the chicken for the last decade of his life. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm redoing what I'm following from like a year and a half ago. First off, finally, the Colonel Sanders Lifetime original movie is called A Recipe for Seduction.
I hate
Colonel
that
Sanders'
so
great
much.
nephew doesn't like this. He's not
That
a
is
fan.
the last one is slander. I
This
agree with them.
is-
The last one's slander.
Yeah, it's Mario Lopez who plays Colonel Sanders. And listen,
That's terrible. That is
nothing
terrible.
against Mario,
That's terrible.
but that's the Saved by the Bell guy. He was on Dancing with the Stars. It's not Colonel Sanders. And again, no disrespect to Lifetime. I don't watch them.
no,
but
no
like,
disrespect to Lifetime.
all right, fine.
Disrespect
Disrespect.
to Lifetime movies.
Is it better that it's only 15 minutes long, or worse?
Well, that's not a movie.
They're calling it a short romance film branded as a mini movie.
Also known as an episode, a show, a video. How long does a movie have to be? Like an hour? At least an hour?
Oh yeah, what's the legal definition of feature?
I think it's
so.
at least no. Our definition,
Yeah.
just like
Oh,
our
our
poll,
definition?
Right.
our rankings,
Correct.
At least an hour.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. Anything less than that's a film.
Ooh.
Short film.
Short film. 'cause
There we go.
technically it's all a film. Yeah. We got
Short
there.
film.
We got there.
All the guys from Sundance continue to sleep because they don't listen to this podcast.
Technically,
good,
is
nerds.
our live stream of the podcast then a movie because we've been streaming for well over an hour?
Oh,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
oof.
Only on YouTube
watch-
though. Podcast is not a movie.
Cinema.
Right. Facebook.
Move over.
So arguably, because we're also streaming to Facebook, are we making two movies at once?
2 copies of the same movie.
Yeah, that's true. Two showings
there's gonna
of
be
the
like-
same movie. One might
it's
say.
it's
We
the
have a
movie of
director's
Theseus, the
cut
stream of
and a
Theseus.
theatrical edition.
Yes, true.
The Colonel, the guy who's the great grandnephew
Right.
of real life, well now dead, but at the time real life, Harlan Sanders doesn't like KFC. And he is joining, he is encouraging all listeners to boycott KFC.
Okay.
And to help boycott, he released the recipe.
What? He did?
He did.
All 11
And
original
he-
herbs and spices. What's the number?
He brought the receipts. He brought the measurements. Because as he says in his video, which is it's just over 3 minutes. It's not a long video.
No, it's not a movie.
It's not a movie.
It's not. Short film.
It's 20%.
An ad even.
20%
Yeah.
of the Colonel Sanders mini movie, though.
Wow. Oh.
So
Well, we need to make this chicken, Josh.
yeah.
Does anybody
got
have
it
a
right
pressure
here.
cooker?
Yes, I do.
Air fryer.
Doesn't pressure.
That'd be a pressure cook.
Yeah.
So he has other, because he's nephew means that it's from, again, I don't want to explain family relations to you, but this means that this is not a direct son. This is, Parland has 2 kids. This is the, son of another, okay, how this works. I'm not going to explain family to you. That's not this podcast. Go pay attention in genealogy class.
Go watch a movie series called Fast and the Furious.
Go watch it. Yeah, if you want to learn about family,
Yeah.
that is in fact, real quick, that is our action statement. Go watch the entire franchise. Finish this podcast
Wow.
and do not do another thing until you have watched the entire filmography.
People are going to lose their jobs, Josh.
But it's all about family.
Listen.
What's more important, family or job?
What's more? Yeah.
True. That
Are
is
you
true.
saying? Because what I'm hearing, Johnny, is that you want people to abandon their family.
Oh, you
for their
no,
job.
You know me.
No,
you know I'm the exact
we-
opposite. You
we
do
are
anything
fans
that
of the
asks you to
transitive property.
abandon your job.
And the inverse property. So the Colonel has released his recipe from Lee, not Harlan. I'm scrubbing through the video because I should have. He has restraining orders. He has the court documents, and he has the newspaper clippings to show that this is the real recipe because it was part of a lawsuit back in the day when the family split, that the recipe couldn't be used in any of the family's competing chicken chains or chicken restaurants or any other marketing like that.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
If I can't have it, no one can.
Yeah. Now, here's the recipe. Tablespoon of sage. Sorry, a tablespoon and a quarter teaspoon of sage. Thank you, American Measurements. I love that we don't have to use like round numbers. 1 tablespoon and 1/4 teaspoon of sage. His numbering is weird. 1/2 teaspoon of cloves. 1/4 teaspoon nutmeg. 1/2 teaspoon cinnamon. 2 pinches of cayenne red pepper. 1/2 teaspoon coriander. 1/4 teaspoon ginger. Teaspoon garlic powder. Tablespoon of white pepper. 1.5 tablespoons of black pepper. And the elusive 11th ingredient. Because I've seen white pepper and black pepper, ginger, garlic. Like, I've seen these. Here's the ingredients. 1 teaspoon of cardamom.
What the heck is that?
Cardamom is
a flower,
a spice. I use it in my, say what?
Isn't it like a flower originally?
I believe so. Yeah, the pods, the seeds that it makes has. I use it in like if I'm doing like a curry or something, you can put some cardamom in there.
Oh, I was way wrong. This does not resemble a flower whatsoever.
I mean, I always assume something like this flowers at some point, so I was willing to go along.
Josh,
with
I
it.
got everything but
You're-
sage and cardamom in my pantry.
Perfect.
Let's get an air fryer and cook up some chicken.
So he recommends
Pressure cooker, sorry. not
pressure
an air
cooker.
I got an Instapot.
You
Close
good?
enough.
Yeah, Instapot. It'll be and then use salt and MSG.
Oh,
Don't be afraid of MSG. It's fine.
you can harvest it naturally.
And you can harvest it naturally.
Yeah.
And then 3 cups. Put all of this into cake flour, he says. Cake flour specifically. Don't be getting that AP. I'll get cake flour on the way up, Johnny. Don't worry.
Okay.
That's just
I'll
cake
get
mix,
cake
right?
powder.
Same thing.
Yes. Go get a thing of Duncan Hines.
Duncan Hines.
Sorry. We got to get the good stuff. Get the funfetti.
There you go.
Get 2 boxes of funfetti. One of your choice. Red velvet sounds kind of good, but it's kind of related. No German chocolate. And then we'll go up and we'll make the best, weirdest chicken.
Ooh, I'm all about this.
So your choice, viewers. You can do one or both of these tasks as your action statement. 1, watch all 9 movies at this point of the Fast and Furious
like 11.
franchise. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Because then there's a spin-off, because then there's that Hobbs one. You don't have to watch that one if you don't want to. That's okay. Main arc only. Family arc only, sorry. 2, make the Colonel's chicken. Now, ideally, the real chicken. Ideally, you do both. You sit on your butt for what ends up being about 36 hours. And you do nothing but eat homemade fried chicken. This is a recipe for what my doctors call heart healthiness. I have very bad doctors.
Nice.
Good action statement.
Yep. One of our best. I mean, last week was relatively easy compared to this week. Last week, just unsubscribed from the channel. Which, surprisingly, you guys didn't follow that very well. We actually gained subscribers. So.
Oh, thank you, because I forget that we told them to do that. That was stupid, and thank you for recognizing that.
Yeah.
Unsubscribe so you can resubscribe.
Yeah, sure. Well, I was just going to say you guys aren't good at unsubscribing, so got to do better.
Oh.
Yeah, actually, we're getting pretty close to filling up Kennesaw State's stadium. So maybe by the time we fill their stadium up, they'll be off the worst list. That's what we want for both them and us. So I think that wraps us up. Enjoy football. We've got hockey, preseason hockey's here because the season starts earlier because Olympics. So we might actually pick some hockey next week. So that's exciting. We've got lots of stuff going on, but enjoy it. Listeners, viewers, thanks for being here. We will talk to you all next week. Have a good one.